Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to Flip the Script, a podcast for millennial creatives, artists, and spiritual entrepreneurs who are ready to be the director of their own lives. My purpose here is to plant seeds, activate you, and help you shift yourself into your highest, most abundant timeline. The only thing that you need to do is be willing and decide right here, right now, that you are ready to live a life that turns you on. My name is Angie, and I am a money mindset coach. And I am here to have deep conversations with you and your higher self. So today's episode is called Energy Vampires: How to Protect Your Energy and Boost Your Business. I'm so excited to talk about this topic because I think it's a big one for a lot of us entrepreneurs out there. And so let's get started. So, we're going to start out with this quote that our relationships can either nourish us or drain us. They can be our source of comfort or a source of chaos. And this is going to lead into our conversation today. So, a lot of times, as creatives and visionaries and healers, we can sometimes fall victim into believing that people who cause harm to others are just simply acting out of their unexpressed pain. And we kind of like give them the excuse, the benefit of the doubt, right? When in reality, there are a group of people that are actually just predators. And what I mean by that, and I know it could be a hard pill to swallow because, you want to see the good in people. But unfortunately, these type of people, they prey on your goodwill, your open heartedness, and your kindness. And a lot of times they're going to be master chameleons and master manipulators. And they honestly, they take without giving anything in return. And this is someone that does this repeatedly as well. Okay. It's not just like a one and done type of situation. Like, no, they do it over and over again. And a lot of times, like when, healers, creatives, and artists, we can kind of fall into this category of an empath, which is somebody that's kind of considered to be like a sensitive soul, somebody that just has like a big heart, and we may have a tendency of like over giving. And so when we have unhealed wounds and we haven't really processed our trauma, we haven't really done some of the deep inner work, we fall prey to these type of people. And unfortunately, we may have a tendency to fall for these people, whether it's like opening our hearts to them, opening our bank accounts to them, opening up our energy to them, or even, opening up our bodies to them as well. And these are individuals who will act the part. They will pretend, they will put on a mask. Like I said, these are master chameleons, master manipulators. So they will act the part, like they got your back, that they're your friend, just so they can get what they want. Okay. And these type of people, they generally are going to lack empathy and consideration, and they have emotional immaturity, or they lack emotional maturity. And so, what I want to get into with this episode is I kind of want to talk about, how our bodies shows us signs when we're around these type of individuals, what kind of signs our body tells us. Because at the end of the day, our body does talk to us in many different ways. And then we're going to talk about the common signs of energy vampires. How do they show up in the real world? So that way you can start identifying them. And then pretty much wrapping everything up with, the importance of protecting your energy, especially when, I mean, just in general, but especially, when you're trying to run a business, you got to protect your energy. So let's get into it. So, like I said, our body talks to us in many different ways. And it's up to us to pause and to listen to like what it is trying to communicate to us. And so when you take a moment, this is why a lot of the times, if you've seen on my Instagram, I've talked about, doing body scans, body scan meditations. These are really helpful because it really helps you tune in into your body. And this is also going to help you improve your intuition and really trust that gut feeling that you have and really listen to it. but it's practice, okay? And some signs, some physical signs like that you will notice when you're around these type of individuals, energy vampires, is number one, sometimes your eyelids can feel pretty heavy around this individual. You kind of just feel like after you had a conversation with them, like you just want to take a nap. You feel just emotionally and physically like just depleted after being around them. Number two, you have a constant like craving to either like binge on comfort food or even like drinking around this person because you're trying to just cope with their way of being. And we'll go into the signs and you kind of see why you may be like tempted to want to drink around this person or like binge on stuff to kind of like, like I said, to help cope. It's a coping mechanism. You may also notice that when you're around this type of individual that your mood just completely changes. Like one moment you may be totally fine and you're good, and then your mood just takes a nosedive and you're like annoyed and you may even feel agitated or overwhelmed and you're like, what the heck? I was totally fine 2 minutes ago and now I'm feeling all this because again, like I said, a lot of us identify as an empath, and when you're an empath, you're somebody that you feel deeply, and so you're that's what they call them, like a sensitive soul, and so you can like you feel other people's energy very easily, and a lot of times when you don't know how to protect your energy, you can absorb other people's energy, and then it kind of like becomes a part of you because you haven't done the proper cleansing or protection for yourself. And so those are just some common like physical signs on how your body is literally telling you like something seems off here, you know. So it's definitely something important to just be aware of because I feel like a lot of us, I've in my life have dealt with a, plenty of energy vampires. I even dated one, and but I wasn't aware. I didn't even know that energy vampires existed. Like I didn't even know that I was during that time even considered like a people pleaser, and I was just really like just overgiving in so many different ways, and allowing my boundaries to be crossed. And so by having this awareness, you're going to know how to handle certain situations and truly like protect your space, your business, so it can actually thrive. Because a lot of times you may feel like, oh man, I'm doing the things, right? Like maybe you are showing up online, maybe you are doing the gigs, maybe you are, doing the business stuff, but you're like, but why is my business not thriving the way it is? And sometimes it can be the people that you're around or even the type of people that you're working with. Okay. So now we're going to go into the common signs of energy vampires. Um, and so I want to clearly identify the common signs because I want you to be aware of how this can show up with clients that you work with, how this can show up with a collab that you're doing with somebody, or even just a relationship, like I said, that you're surrounded with constantly, that it will affect your productivity. It will affect your creative flow and your business to make money. Okay. Because you not only want to make an impact, you don't not only want to, you know, work in your passion, but you also want to be compensated for it at the end of the day. Because I'm pretty sure if you're here listening to my podcast, you don't really align fully with just doing the 9 to 5. Like you truly want your business to thrive and create the income. So then that way you can live a life that turns you on, right? And so let's get into the common signs. I actually have a checklist here that I want to go over. So yeah, so the common signs of energy vampires, I'm going to start listing them out, and you may notice like things may be popping up in your mind like, oh, that kind of reminded me of that person or this person, or like, oh, my client is kind of like that. Like, but this is just literally to bring awareness, because if you follow me, you know that I'm really big on awareness. that awareness is key. In order to create any change in your life, you have to be aware where things are at. So then you can take the proper steps from there. Okay. I'm loving my hair. Alrighty. So one of the signs is that this person can be pessimistic. Like they're just negative Nancy. It doesn't matter if you try to reframe their negativity for something positive. They just want to stay in the negative. This person can be an anger addict, which basically means like they kind of, excuse me, they kind of like they have a tendency to be very like have a belittling tone to them. They just want to like attack, or they yell, so they don't really know how to handle certain situations that maybe may come up, and so their way of responding is like with anger. They have anger issues basically. This type of person, an energy vampire, can be in a victim mentality. Kind of goes in with the pessimistic stuff. Like they just like to stay in victimhood, and they just like to stay with the drama. They're super like drama, drama, drama. They thrive and they live for the chismes, the gossip. Okay. Um, these type of people, they can be jealous, super, super jealous, and with that comes being like revengeful. They always want to like they always have like some sort of secret plan to like to be revengeful towards somebody. This type of person can also be judgmental. And what I mean by judgmental is not even like constructive criticism, and they in their mind thinks that it's constructive criticism, but they're actually just like shaming you, and like maybe they like approach you like, oh, why are you wearing that outfit? Like it makes you look fat, um, or like, oh wow, why did you post that thing the other day? Like honestly, like it sounded really bad. Like I would rethink doing that. Like they just shame you for whatever actions you take, or what however you're dressed or whatever. They're just super critical. An energy vampire can also be identified as a narcissist. And like narcissist, I know is kind of like thrown around all over the place, but there's it an energy vampire. There's like 10 different types of them, and one of them is a narcissist. This is a person that's like everything is about them. They don't care about you. They care about themselves and their ego being stroked. Okay. Another sign can be that they expect for you to take responsibility for their actions. So if they do something, they blame it on you. Oh, but it was your fault. You're the one that requested to go to the restaurant and my car got towed. I don't know. They always just put the blame on others, and they take no responsibility. They're never the problem. This type of person can also be a guilt tripper. So they literally will just make you feel bad. Like maybe you're trying to have an honest conversation with this person, and instead of just like that's why I said earlier, right? They lack emotional maturity. So instead of being mature about it and having a honest conversation, they will completely flip it. Even though they may know that they were in the wrong, they will completely flip it that, wow, I can't believe you're even bringing this up. Like, do you not know like how many times I've done this for you? Like, how could you be like this? And they'll like make you feel bad for even saying anything. Like it's pretty much like impossible to have a mature conversation with this person. And then also, so that's like a list that you can kind of like mark off. Like, is there anybody in your life that sounds like that? And sometimes a person, an energy vampire, they can either be all of them, which is like them, or they could be some of them, or they can just be one of them, because like I said, there's 10 different types of energy vampires out there, and that's kind of like the categories that I went through there. Now, how are they like showing up in a group setting, right? Like, how are they showing up when you're around other people? Well, this person, when they show up, they may like they may feel like you may feel like they just kill the vibe. Like they show up to a room and the energy just kind of just drops, and you're just like, oh. and you don't really want to talk about anything and this and that, 'cause you're just trying to like avoid, let's say they're shameful, they like to judge, right? Or they're a guilt tripper, like you're just trying to avoid having any type of interaction with them, and they just really kill the mood. This type of person in a group setting can talk over people. So the moment that you're sharing a thought and you're really excited to share something finally, this person was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. But anyways, but guys, like da 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 da, and they'll go off and like it has to be about them, right? um, they may end up inserting themselves into conversations that have nothing to do with them. Like maybe you're at a club or something, or at a bar, and this person shows up, or at some event, some community event, and this person shows up, and you're having a private conversation with another individual or another group of people or whatever, and this person just like inserts themselves into the conversation when they weren't even like welcomed into it, right? This type of person can also, in a group setting, in a social setting, they can ignore the social cues and ignore boundaries. Like they're the type of person that they don't care to like test the waters. They really will test your boundaries, whether it's like they are super clingy and they'll be in your energy, like everywhere you go, they're right there type deal. So they have a tendency of doing that. And so, yeah, like I said, they latch on to the one person in the group, not giving you any space. And you're like, oh my God, like, I didn't come here with you. I came here by myself, or I came here with this other person. Like, you're not a part of this, whatever you think you're a part of. um, they also have a tendency of like diminishing the problems of others. So let's say you're in a group setting and you share something, and they may say something like, oh, I mean, yeah, like, oh, wow, that really sucks. But my stuff is, oh my gosh, guys, you got to hear about my stuff. And again, it's always about them. It comes back to them. This type of people, they can reject anyone's solutions to their problems. So maybe in a group setting, they're here, creating drama and telling their story or whatever. And then you may say, well, something that may be super helpful is like, maybe you should stop responding to that person via text, or maybe you should rethink that relationship that you're in because it's not serving you. And they'll just completely like ignore you because they want, again, to be in that victim mentality. They're like, yeah, and then they'll make an excuse, and then they'll just stay in that victimhood. They also may ask like uncomfortable personal questions as well. Again, this kind of goes with like they ignore boundaries, they ignore social cues, and sometimes they just literally they just don't care, and they want to make you feel like you're beneath them, right? They want to make you feel uncomfortable. And then pretty much what I kind of have been saying already, they shift the conversation towards themselves because they're important. They're more important than everybody else. They expect you to always be available on their terms as well. This type of person, like maybe they'll just call you unexpectedly or blow up your phone unexpectedly, like expecting you to always be available to help solve their problem because they're important. Their schedule, their life is way more important than whatever priorities you have in your life. And so definitely like, take time to reflect on those common signs that I just pointed out, because, sometimes it could be, again, your clients that have these type of behaviors. And again, it's important to have this awareness because this is how you're going to learn how to prevent this from happening in the future and to also protect your energy now. Okay. This can also be people that are super close to you, that, you've hung out in this friend group for quite some time, and this person is there. And it's like, you have to learn to start setting boundaries. Okay. And so, and it can even be even closer to you, like a relative. It could be a parent, for goodness sakes. And so again, the awareness is important. So that way you'll know how to handle it from there. And we're going to just go over some things that you can do. So, like I was saying, as an entrepreneur, okay, as an entrepreneur, we have to come back to our main goal, which revolves around making an impact, right? We want to make an impact. We want to share our art. We want to share our music. We want to share our creativity. We want to help heal and guide others through their healing journey. You want to make an impact, right? But at the same time, you don't want to just make an impact, but you also want to make an income at the same time, because then what's going on here, right? So in order to do that effectively and efficiently, so that you're in the game for the long run, and you're not just dipping in and out of your business and then having to go to a full-time job and then like coming back, and it's just going ebbs and flows and there's so much inconsistency. You're in it for the long run, right? That's why having this awareness of these type of people are important, because these type of people are draining. Okay, they drain your energy. That's why they're called energy vampires. They suck the life out of you. Okay, and what happens when you're around people like that? Well, if they suck the life out of you, that's going to lead to burnout. That's going to lead to chronic stress, like unnecessary stress that probably has nothing to do with you, but they throw their problems onto you because now it's your problem. And this is going to cause you to miss opportunities, big money making opportunities for yourself. And these people that suck the life out of you, they dim your light, which is why you are struggling to manifest. That's why you're struggling to attract the right clientele. That's why you're struggling to attract the money making opportunities, because your energy is off. Your energy is off because of whom you are constantly around. And at the end of the day, it's like, it kind of goes back to that thing, like, who do you surround yourself with? It matters. The 5 people that you surround yourself matters. It does, because even if you try so hard to not be, if the majority of the group is energy vampires or just people with no goals or whatever, like, it's going to leak into your life, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Because we're creatures of habit. And so if you're constantly around people like that, then you're just gonna be like, you're just gonna easily lean into your excuses. Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's go, like, do other things besides me working on my business. If you're not if you are not around the right people, that's going to happen. You got to ask yourself, like, okay, my business is not thriving right now, right? You got to be honest with yourself. My business is not thriving right now. I'm having inconsistent money coming in. The clients that I'm attracting are extremely needy and clingy. Like, why? Then you got to like reflect. You got to look at your life. Okay, who's in my life right now on a consistent basis? Could be weekly basis, every weekend, whatever. Who's in my life right now? How is that affecting me? How are their behaviors affecting my decision making? You gotta take a time to take inventory on your life. If you're truly serious about this, if you're truly serious about being an entrepreneur, about being a healer, a creative, an artist, then this is a must. This is a requirement. You got to put on your CEO hat, okay? Because you are the CEO of your business. If you're not doing anything in it, then your business is not doing anything either. It needs you. So you need to be operating in the most efficient way possible, right? So that's why when it comes to confronting, because when you're dealing with energy vampires, you're going to have to be like a bit confrontational, because these are people, like I said, that they don't care to overstep. They don't care to cross boundaries. They don't care to make you feel a certain type of way. As long as they get that ego boost and their egos is stroked, then they're good. Oh, but if they see you succeeding, they're going to try to infiltrate. They're going to try to distract you. So this is why It's going to require like your throat chakra, right? If you know about chakras, your throat chakra, it's going to be is going to have to be activated here. You're going to have to work through your throat chakra, which means that you're going to have to practice assertive communication. And trust me, like in the beginning of my journey, like, oh my God, like 10 years ago, I was a chronic people pleaser. I was in a toxic, narcissistic relationship. Like it was not good. And I struggled to speak up. I struggled, but eventually I did. Eventually I ended everything. I was the one that stood my ground. I was like, enough is enough. This is not serving me anymore. Like this is not going anywhere. I feel like, like this needs to end. And it did. I spoke up. I built up the courage. So you're going to have to practice assertive communication with these type of people. You're going to have to start setting clear boundaries with people, with clients, and in situations that are draining your energy. So you have to learn to say no and prioritize your well-being. And I do struggle on what to say, how to say it, if especially if you haven't really done this before, you haven't really like stood up for yourself and you struggle with that. It's okay. It's not about being hard on yourself or anything like that. And trust me, in the beginning, like when I would speak up about certain things, like my voice used to tremble a lot. Like I wasn't truly confident in my truth. Like I didn't know how to stand behind my own truth, my own authentic self. But didn't matter. I did it anyway. I did it anyway because I knew that protecting me was more important. And so if you do struggle with speaking your truth, then I suggest, go to your notes section. Go to your notes section and write out like different phrases and how to respond to these people in your life. Well, whoever pops up in your mind that you're going to maybe have to have a conversation with, or that that you're going to have to set a boundary with, like practice on your own. Like these are things that I used to do because I would struggle. Again, I would struggle really hard to speak my truth. And so with that being said, if you're a person that also struggles, write it down. Write a little script of like, what would I say if I told this person like I need to set this boundary? How would I say it to them? And if they respond, if they like retaliate, or if they're like, how can you do this for me? How do I respond in that situation? Like prepare yourself. You gotta, especially if you're not used to being assertive and you're used to being kind of like submissive and quiet and like, taking a hit, like you're going to have to do certain things to help prepare you so you build that courage, so you build that confidence. And these are things that I used to do back in the day. So like I said, like let's say you have a needy client who's not texting you literally at like 11 o'clock at night, like, hey, I'm having this issue and like I don't know what to do, like da, 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 like do you think I should do this? Oh, I don't know if I should eat this food, or how should I say this to this person? And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You gotta set the boundaries. You gotta have that client coach relationship, and you gotta make it clear on what that's supposed to look like. Make it clear and have expectations. I think when you're an entrepreneur, it's important to have expectations. Especially when you're working with other people, because people are just then gonna assume that you're always gonna be available. They're gonna assume that you're okay. You gotta take away the assumption. And like I said, you got to put your CEO hat and set those clear expectations starting now. After listening to this, start setting those expectations. Because trust me, I know in the beginning it's uncomfortable. When you're trying something new, when you're trying to speak your voice, and when you're trying to activate your throat chakra, is going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning. That's natural. Okay? Just know that. It's okay if your voice is trembling. It's natural. It's natural. But the more that the more that you set those boundaries, the more that you're clear on the expectations, trust me that you're going to gain so much more respect with people, because then they're going to know that you're not someone to fuck with. That you're not someone to mess with, right? Then they're going to know like, oh, oh shit, like, no, you're right. I guess, they're going to respect you a lot more. And if they don't respect you, man, you got to cut them out. You got to cut them out. They don't deserve to be in your energy. They don't deserve to be in your circle. You just cut them out. Pray about it, meditate about it, you know? And it's funny because the full moon, I think, is tomorrow. So a perfect timing, right? Like, be clear. Like, who do you want in your circle? Who do you want as a client? Like, you got to make these things clear so you can start attracting the right people in your life. And you have to also, in this process of setting your boundaries, of opening up your throat chakra and speaking your truth, what your truth is, because your truth is valid. You have to be okay with sometimes, like I said, cutting the person out. You have to be okay with, or maybe you don't even cut them out. They actually just end up walking away. They're like, wow, I can't believe you're like this. Da, 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 and then they're like, deuces. You have to be okay with that. Especially when you are standing in your truth, when you're speaking from the heart. You have to also be okay with rejection. And I know that's a huge one when it comes to being an entrepreneur, the fear of being rejected, the fear of someone not accepting your truth. You have to learn to be okay with that. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process of being an entrepreneur. And this is going to build on over time. You don't just become this, like, confident entrepreneur just overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. Okay. But these are the steps that are going to, like, really honestly, like, build that foundation for you, because at the end of the day, you come first. You have to fill up your own cup first, because then everything else is going to be half-assed, and that's not the type of business you want to run. You don't want to run a half-assed business. You want to have a thriving business. So if you want to have a thriving business, you have to make sure to fill your cup up. To not only fill your cup up, but to also protect yourself, protect your energy. And just know that, like, if your business is not thriving, if there's something off, if whatever, like, it's a reflection of you. So there's some disconnect here. So if you're not good, it's going to affect your business in some way, whether it's financially or the type of people that you're attracting, that type of opportunities. Just know that. And so, like I'm saying, protecting your energy is so valuable. And this is something, and this is why I have a tattoo right here. It says desconfianza de indio. Desconfianza de indio. My parents always say that to me. That don't just trust anybody that gives you a smile. Don't just trust right away so easily. Because I used to honestly trust people. I used to be kind of gullible with that, because again, I was like, really, could be mean like that. People can be cruel like that. And the reality is, yeah, not everyone's going to have your best interest, especially, like, when you're an entrepreneur, if you're succeeding, like, you're going to encounter people that just can't handle your success. They don't want to truly see you successful. And so, again, that's why protecting yourself and having desconfianza de indio is so important. So remind yourself that, okay? And when you have, like, high energy, when your energy is right, when your energy is good, and when you protect your energy, when you protect your space, when you cleanse the space, declutter your life, this is going to lead to increased creativity. This is going to lead to increased productivity. And overall, your business is going to be successful. It's going to thrive. It's inevitable, because you're literally, like, building that strong foundation that it needs to thrive, to blossom. Because when you have this positive energy, when you have this positive environment around you, you're going to naturally, this is what magnetism is, you're going to naturally attract the like-minded clients, the like-minded opportunities, and you're going to create this beautiful cycle of growth and abundance in your life. Again, it's inevitable. It's law. Your energy is such a valuable asset to your business. And guys, it is worth protecting. It is worth protecting. Trust me. Because I've been in situations in the past where I was like, I just wanted to be nice to people. But then at the end, it backfired. And the person that got hurt the most was myself. The person that delayed her own success was myself. So again, this is going to help you build a business and support system where you can thrive, because the foundation matters. When you have a strong foundation, even if life happens, it's not going to just come down a sinkhole. Okay. When you have a strong foundation, it's sturdy. It's got you. You got your back. And so I really hope that you enjoyed this podcast today. This was a super fun topic, such an important topic, because I feel like it is so overlooked. And I know, like I said, when it comes to dealing with energy vampires, like as a healer, as a creative, as an artist, we want to make that impact. We want to give. We want to make people smile, make people happy. But at the same time, there has to be boundaries. And so today we talked about, again, energy vampires, how to identify them, the importance of protecting your energy. And I would love to know, like, what aha moments you've had during this whole conversation. If a light bulb came on for you, maybe something I said helped you to finally decide something inside of you, like, okay, I'm gonna make this decision. I'm gonna go and do this thing. Definitely shoot me a DM or tag me on your Insta stories. I love, love, love to see your guys' feedback. And I love creating these episodes for you. I love doing this. This work is so rewarding. And if you have found my podcasts, any of my podcasts valuable, definitely share it, on your Insta stories, or go ahead and leave a review, because that's going to help my channel for other people to also be able to find it. I also have a special offer for you, where you can sign up for a free business audit with me, no strings attached. You can schedule a free business audit where I will personally evaluate your business. So I'm going to look at the current systems you have in place, and I'm going to help like pinpoint what gaps you have that are holding you back. Okay. And you're going to get tailored feedback from me on how to align your business with your authentic self, because we're all about authenticity and being your true self and making money being your true self. And we're going to figure out like what's causing customers to walk away, and for you to and what's causing you to lose money as well. So again, you are your brand. I'm going to say this over and over again. You are your brand. And when you operate from a place of authenticity and a place of confidence, you're going to naturally magnetize opportunities. You're going to naturally be in this creative flow, and you're going to naturally attract the wealth into your life. So this is your year to shine and to prosper. So if that's something that definitely interests you, just go ahead and shoot me a DM, and just comment the word spark, and then I'll send you more details on that. Or you can click the link below the show notes to also schedule a call. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you have a great one. Bye.